In the tapestry of biblical history, the Garden of Eden stands as a place of profound significance. It was a paradise, untouched by the shadows of sin and death. Within this garden, two trees held dominion over the fate of humanity, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. These trees, symbols of God's blessings and humanity's free will, would shape the course of history in ways both profound and mysterious. Our journey takes us from this garden paradise to a desolate hill outside Jerusalem, a place known as Golgotha, the place of the skull. Imagine a garden where life flourished with unparalleled beauty. At its heart stood the tree of life, its branches heavy with fruit that granted immortality. Nearby grew the tree of knowledge of good and evil, its fruit forbidden by God. These trees represented a choice, a test of obedience for Adam and Eve, the first humans. The tree of life symbolized God's desire for an eternal relationship with humanity. The tree of knowledge, however, represented the allure of knowledge and the potential for disobedience. Tempted by the serpent, Adam and Eve succumbed to their curiosity and ate the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge. This act of disobedience, known as the fall, had catastrophic consequences. They were banished from the Garden of Eden, their perfect communion with God shattered. Sin and death entered the world, casting a long shadow over humanity. The Garden of Eden, once a paradise, was no more. Centuries later, in a land far from Eden, a hill outside the city walls of Jerusalem became central to the story of salvation. This hill, known as Golgotha in Aramaic and Calvary in Latin, was a place of execution, a stark contrast to the paradise lost in Eden. The name Golgotha, meaning the place of the skull, hinted at its grim purpose. Some believe the hill resembled a human skull, while others believe it was a place of burial. Regardless, Golgotha was a place of death, a stark reminder of sin's consequences. Section 5. Adam's final resting place. According to Jewish tradition, Adam, the first man, was buried on Golgotha. It is said that when he died, his body was preserved by Noah during the flood and eventually brought to this very hill. This connection between Adam, the first man, and Golgotha, the place of the skull, adds another layer of meaning to this significant location. It is as if the beginning and end of humanity converge at this point, the site of both the first sin and the ultimate act of redemption. Section 6. The sacrifice on Golgotha. It was on this very hill, Golgotha, that Jesus Christ, the Son of God, was crucified. Condemned by the Roman authorities and abandoned by his disciples, Jesus endured unimaginable suffering and death on the cross. This act of self-sacrifice, born out of love for humanity, became the cornerstone of Christian faith. On that day, at that place, the darkness of sin and death was met with the light of God's love and forgiveness. Section 7. The tree and the cross. The connection between the tree of life in Eden and the cross on Golgotha is profound and deeply symbolic. Just as the tree of life represented eternal life, the cross became the symbol of new life offered through Christ's sacrifice. The wood of the cross, like the tree in the garden, held the power of life and death. But on Golgotha, death was conquered, and the path to eternal life was open to all who believe. Section 8. From Eden to Redemption. The story of Golgotha is a story of transformation, a journey from the paradise lost in Eden to the redemption found at the cross. It is a story of sin and death, but also a story of love, sacrifice, and the promise of eternal life. From the Garden of Eden to the hill of Golgotha, we see the unfolding of God's plan for humanity, a plan rooted in love and culminating in hope. Section 9. A legacy of faith. Today, Golgotha remains a powerful symbol of Christian faith. Pilgrims from around the world visit the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built on the traditional site of Jesus' crucifixion and burial, to remember his sacrifice and find hope in his resurrection. The story of Golgotha reminds us that even in the darkest of places, hope can emerge and the power of love can triumph over death.